Hello everyone, Ollie here from 𝙽𝙴𝚁𝗙𝗙𝗢𝗥 Cinema, and today, me and Nerdtube, not here right now, he's actually on his way now, he's running a little bit late, but he should be here before the film we're watching, and the film we're going to be watching is Superman, James Gunn's Superman. Obviously this is the, technically it's the first film entry into the DCU, obviously the new reboot universe. So what I'm going to be doing in the meantime, waiting for Nerdtube, is basically discussing my before thoughts on Superman. I was going to try and do my overall thoughts on the other Superman films, obviously the Christopher Reeve films, the Brandon Ruth one, or Ralph, whatever his name is, from Superman Returns, and Man of Steel, but I think we'll discuss them later on, because I think we might try and do a ranking when we watched the new one, obviously. But I don't want to waste too much time in the intro, so I thought we'll talk about the other films, the previous films, after the film, when we do our ranking. So regarding my before thoughts for James Gunn's Superman, I'm really looking forward to this. Obviously I'm a fan of James Gunn. I'm a fan of a lot of his films. I haven't watched every single one of them. I've only watched obviously the 3 Guardian of the Galaxy films, the Suicide Squad, Peacemaker. Obviously I know that's a show, but still it's his work. I haven't watched Super, which is another, it's not a Marvel film, it's another separate kind of, it looks like a parody superhero film, but it might not be, it might just be kind of like a kick-assy kind of film, but I haven't seen that yet. I've got it on Blu-ray, but I just haven't had a chance to watch it yet. Slither, which is the only horror film that he's made, and I'm like, ooh, James Gunn horror film, that sounds interesting. So I've got those 2 films on Blu-ray and DVD, but I haven't had a chance to watch them yet. My main priority was to watch the previous Superman films, which I haven't watched them. I haven't watched the Christopher Reeve films before until now, so I'll talk about them later on after the Superman film, the new one. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to watching James Gunn's Superman. I've tried to temper my expectations a little bit, because obviously I don't think I said it in my Thunderbolts review, but I was really looking forward to Thunderbolts because there was one particular trailer that I watched over and over again, which was so good because of the editing, the music choice. It was just great, and all the advertisement for this film, Superman, is looking really good, and yeah, really good stuff. So I'm trying to temper my expectations, but it's hard not to, because everything that they've shown us in the advertisement looks really good. So obviously you'll be hearing, hopefully, Nerdtube's thoughts once he gets here, which hopefully should be before we go into the film, because, you know, it'd be great to hear his before thoughts, but it's likely looking that way, but if not, then obviously we'll see after the film, and it'd be a bit of a shame, but it is what it is. So yeah, other than obviously me looking forward to the new film, I hope it's really good, and from what I've been hearing in terms of the ratings, both critically and the audience, it's looking very, very good. But I can only really go in with my own expectations, like every other film. So again, everything with the advertisement looks really good, and I don't really have any doubts that it's not going to be good. But the humour looks like it's on my par. Again, you'll be hearing Nerdtube's thoughts in a minute when he gets here, but I don't have much else to say on my before thoughts, which is quite short, but obviously I wanted to talk about the other Superman films, but again, time, you have to wait till later on. So we're really looking forward to this one. It's most likely my most anticipated film of the year, or certainly now, but in terms of the beginning of the year, it probably was, just because it's the new DCU. It's going to be fresh, clean slate, pretty much. I mean, obviously, other than Peacemaker and the Suicide Squad. Is it the Suicide Squad? I can't remember, but I'll have to look it up. But there's a couple of things which is still canon from the other DCEU. Oh, Blue Beetle is apparently going to be in this one, in this new universe, because obviously he's like one of the last films from the DCEU. I know it's a bit confusing. It should have been a complete new reboot, and it mostly is, but you know, it is what it is. So I'm really looking forward to this. I hope it's good, and yeah, can't wait to watch this. So yeah, I'm going to pass it on to Nerdtube.
Hello, people of the internet. I've finally arrived with to meet Ollie to watch James Gunn's Superman. I am very excited for this film, simply because I have watched the Guardians of the Galaxy films, and I've watched the Suicide Squad film before. The one by James Gunn. I'm not talking about the old one. The old one's shit.
We didn't talk about that.
No, we don't talk about that one. Alright, let's leave that one out. And I have a lot of expectations for this film, but above all, I'm just hoping that it's really good, man. Because, like, we have not gotten a Superman movie in, like, 10 years.
A solo Superman film.
Yeah, a solo Superman film. Now, Superman has had a very complex history. Like, most people, when they think of Superman, they'll think of Christopher Reeve's Superman in 1978. And, yeah, that film series really had a downgrade.
Yeah, let's talk about that after the film, just because of time.
And I'm really hoping this film can really perform well on the box office, because if it can, then yeah, the DCU, no, not DCU. Sorry, it's very confusing. Yeah, the DCU will be off to a good start. I hear Guy Gardner, who is basically one of the Green Lanterns. There's Hawkgirl, Lois Lane, etc. And other than that, I hope this film is good. I bought this about a couple months ago. I just thought it was really cool. So I decided, you know what? Screw it. This is the right time. I'm going to wear it.
Alright, so yeah, that's about it for both of us. All we have to do now is just go in and hope for the best, which, again, like I said earlier before Nerdtube got here, the reviews are looking really good. But it's all up to our expectations, our own thing, so... But it's great seeing other reviews that are saying it's really good nonetheless, but it's all up to us. So, yeah, we'll see you outside, or on the way out, whatever, credits rolling, whatever. So, yeah, we'll see you then.
Roll the preview.
Superman's become the focal point of the world's conversation.
Superman doesn't have time for selfies.
You're referring to yourself in third person?
No, it's just a thing I came up with.
Rated PG-13.
That was really good. Hello everyone, we just got out, and yeah, I think this was a pretty good movie overall. On to the positives. I think Superman was great in this movie. I thought he worked out well, although sometimes it can feel a bit off for me. Although that's just me. There were a couple times where he did feel a bit out of character. I mean, like, Superman-wise. I wish he was in the film a lot more as Clark Kent, to be honest. Because I think Clark Kent and Superman are as important as each other, to be honest. And Lois Lane, I liked Lois Lane. I thought she was a lot better than Man of Steel. And...
Amy Adams.
Yeah, Amy Adams. And the Christopher Reeve Superman film series, I thought she was better than those two. And I liked her a lot more. She was very fierce, I would say. And I believed in her chemistry and her romance with Superman Clark Kent. And Lex Luthor, man, he was so fun to watch. The thing I love about villains in a movie is that they're allowed to be evil. And I really love that in James Gunn movies. Like the High Evolutionary, unapologetically evil. And the same with Lex Luthor in this film, unapologetically evil. I just wish we'd gotten that more often in these films. Like, don't get me wrong, sympathetic villains aren't a bad trope, but it's become a lot more and more and more apparent. And yeah, I really would love to see Lex again in the future. I thought the actor who played him did a fantastic job. Same with Lois and Clark. And I really thought Krypto the dog was quite cute in the film. It was fun. And then there's Guy Gardner, who's basically Green Lantern in this film. I thought he was quite funny. Hawkgirl didn't get to do too much in this film. I think Mr. Terrific, his name was.
Yeah.
I've never heard of him before. although, to be fair, I have a limited knowledge on comics and DC and all that. I thought he was quite good to watch in this film. I thought he served well and his purpose in the plot of the movie. The jokes, I thought the jokes were quite good. And then, yeah, I think those are my positives. And, hold on, one more positive actually. I think I liked the design of the Fortress of Solitude. I thought that was really good to what the comics did. And I know people didn't like the Superman suit that much. I thought it wasn't bad, to be fair. Same with like all the other designs. And now with the mixed, I thought the jokes were a bit hit and miss for me, here and there, because sometimes they're a bit like, meh, it was okay, and then like there were other times where I did actually audibly laugh with Ollie. Like there was a scene which we will get to later. I'm gonna save that for after I rank the film. And then there was the color grading, which I thought was a bit hit and miss. Like some scenes, they do work in that particular area, and then in other scenes, it just looks a bit colorless to me. I'm not a color grader. I'm not. And then there's the cinematography. There are a few shots in the film which I thought were a bit off for me, because I think that though they look amazing, but they could have been improved just slightly a bit. And then there are a few other shots in the film which I think were just beautiful and amazing to watch, especially the flying scenes with Superman, because we're flying with him, and I love that. Now, the negatives. I do wish we could have got a bit more information on a few bits here and there. And the scene where Clark's birth parents became planet conquerors, I have so many mixed feelings on that. I like the concept of that, but at the same time, it rubs me the wrong way. I didn't like that. Other people might. It's just not for me. Right. And then there were, again, back to the jokes. I just thought that some of the jokes in this film did not work for me. And the same with the color grading. But overall, I just don't have a lot to say. Although I wish I would. I wish I did. I personally think this is a good film. Now, James Gunn is known for making good superhero movies. Like, his previous films have proven that. But I don't think, like, on the Superman movie, it was as strong as it could have been. Because he's not a bad filmmaker, don't get me wrong. But I feel like this was probably the weakest film. Now, when I say weakest, I'm not implying it's bad at all. It's still good. But it could have been improved slightly a bit.
His weakest film?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
His weakest. I'm not implying that it's bad. I'm not.
Yeah.
So, how would I give this a rating for? I'd probably give it a 7 out of 10, to be honest. It's just not a bad film. I had a lot of fun watching this. And for people who are looking for something fun and have a very out of experience to feel a lot more hopeful and optimistic, yeah, this is your film. Go and have a watch. It's a lot of fun. Yeah, spoilers. Now, there were a few scenes which people seem to criticize at the minute, where Superman gets very emotional and just labeled as a man-child. Okay, then let me ask you this. If your dog was possibly kidnapped by one of your greatest enemies, how would you react to that? And if you were finding out your parents were warmongers, how would you react? Because this is what I like to do. How would you react to the situation? Because, like, when I write a script, I tend to try and put myself in that scenario and how I would react and try and put myself in the character's shoes. I like to put that in my mindset. And to be fair, Superman has always been an emotional character. That's the point, like, of Clark and Superman's character. He's hopeful and he's very emotional because he loves people, he cherishes them, he's proud of them, he's proud of who he is. And I liked Pa Kent in this film. I kind of lean towards this version of Pa Kent than I did with Man of Steel version, because I think Man of Steel version of Pa Kent did give Superman, Clark Kent, a lot of bit of some bad advice now and again. Overall, I don't have too much to say. Again, I wish I did, but such is life. But on to you, Ollie.
Alright, so, my afterthoughts on James Gunn's Superman. First of all, can't believe we finally watched it. It's like, I feel like it's been ages since we've been waiting to watch this. As usual, positives, mixed negatives. So my positives, Superman himself, David Cornswear as Superman. I really liked his Superman. I like his portrayal, and I like how they humanize him more, actually. I like that he isn't too much of an alien, he's not much of as a grounded Superman like Henry Cavill, and I like Henry Cavill, but obviously it's a different interpretation. I like how they balance his character as a loving superhero while being jokey and everything, but also having that serious side to him as well. I think they balance that quite well. Clark Kent, while we didn't get enough of him, and I feel like we should have had more of him, which I did hear, the reviews that I did see, they did say that there wasn't that much Clark Kent, and I was expecting that, so it's not like I was shocked to see that, but it still would have been nice to see more Clark Kent. But the stuff we did get to see, I liked. And the whole Daily Planet thing as well, all the Daily Planet people, obviously Jimmy Olsen, obviously with Lois Lane, played by Rachel Brosnahan. She's really good as well. I think she is my favourite Lois Lane, which isn't really saying too much, because I really wasn't really a fan of Amy Adams' Lois Lane in Man of Steel, and, well, the other DCE films that she appears in. And the Lois Lane we got on it, I've seen the original Christopher Reeve ones, I've forgotten the actress's name. But I thought she was okay. I mean, she wasn't like Amy Adams' Lois Lane level, but I thought she was okay. But yeah, I think Rachel Brosnahan, so far, she is my favourite iteration of Lois Lane. And I honestly, saying this now, it might be a bit early to say this, but I know he's only been in this one film, but I think he is my favourite Superman. Because I just, again, the saying that I really like the balance of the heart, the silliness, but also the seriousness of his character I like the most. Yeah, he feels the most relatable out of all the Superman iterations, because, again, he's the most human of them all. Like, yeah, I don't know how to describe it, but Lex Luthor, he is an a-hole in a good way. He's a great a-hole. I think Nicholas Hoult is the actor's name. He's a great actor. I've seen him in other things, and he's a great Lex Luthor. He is my favourite Lex Luthor as well. There's a lot of my favourite stuff in this. Like, a lot of in this iteration of Superman. I know it's only one film, and people think it's recency bias or whatever, but I don't care. I liked a lot of the stuff that they introduced in this iteration of Superman, or this actually in this universe, to be fair, because obviously this is the brand new DCU. What else? Other good stuff. Some of the cinematography was really good. Like what 𝗫𝗏 said was that obviously we were flying with Superman. I wrote the shots where he's like in the air with his arms out and everything. We see him like moving, like a lot of the frantic camera angles as well is really good. Not just on Superman, but in other parts of the film as well. Yeah, there's obviously too many to talk about on that end, but really good cinematography. I couldn't really point out too many negatives on the cinematography side, but then again, I'm not a cinematographer or anything, so I can't really be nitpicky on that side. As well as the colour grading. I'm not saying obviously you're wrong on that, I'm just saying that as someone who also doesn't colour grade or anything, I couldn't point anything on that side either, so nothing bad on that end. Obviously, the other characters, of course, the Justice Society, what are they called? Justice
Gang.
The Justice Gang. I think the Justice Society was from Black Adam, I think.
Yeah.
Oh.
Don't get
Yeah.
confusing.
The Justice Gang. Obviously, this contains Nathan Fillion as Guy Gardner, or one of the Green Lanterns. I thought he is great. Mr. Terrific, I had not heard of him either. I mean, I hadn't really heard of Guy Gardner really since this film, but seeing all these new characters was cool. Hawk Girl, she's I think she's played by Isabella Merced. I didn't point this out earlier because because it wasn't in my head, but I thought I'd save it till now. The actress who plays her, Isabella Merced, as Hawk Girl, she was actually in Madame Web. She played one of the girls in Madame Web. Yeah.
No way.
Yeah. And while there wasn't much that they gave her in this film, I mean, it's not her film, it's Superman's film, but I think she was serviceable for what she was in the film. But I mean, I would have liked to see more of her. And then obviously Mr. Terrific, I haven't mentioned him, have I? I briefly did, but Mr. Terrific I liked as well. Obviously, there's a funny joke, which is funny. that nerd you found really funny. But yeah, his character's good as well. Yeah, I think the whole like Metropolis thing as well, I really like. Again, the Daily Planet and everything is really great. So it's great that I watched the other previous Superman films because it gives me that extra intake of what it's like. So it's like, oh, that's cool. I like look at that and comparing the other ones. But yeah, I guess I think the score is good. I like the score. The music's good as well. I like how they kind of play on that. I guess it's the Christopher Reeve theme. With this, I like it. The kind of the punk rock guitar-y riff kind of style of it, which in the film, I mean, it's not really that much of a spoiler, but this Clark Kent or Superman actually likes punk rock. I think he said, didn't he? He likes that genre. Yeah, so the music's great for the most part. Some people weren't really a fan of some of the soundtrack. Obviously, the scores is the music they make for the film, and the soundtrack is music they implement in the film, like pop music or whatever. So some people weren't happy with certain. When I say people, I mean obviously people that watch the film, the audiences. Some of them didn't like it. They thought it was a bit unnecessary, and I mean, I didn't think it was that unnecessary, but I mean, I didn't mind it. I think it worked well for what it was. I think that's about it for my positives. Mixed. While I like Crypto to a certain extent, I did feel like there were certain scenes that it felt a bit played off too much. I feel like in certain scenes he was trying to be too cute in a way, like when certain characters were in peril, including Superman. I won't go into too much into the scene, but they're trying to get out of this situation, and Crypto's just screwing around, and I'm like, God damn it. Which is kind of, that's why it's in my mix and not so much my negatives, but it's just a bit like, it's trying to be a bit too cute. And obviously Crypto is based off, people that don't know, based off James Gunn's dog. I've forgotten his name now, but it's based off his dog, which is cool. That's not the side of it that I don't like, it's just the fact that they made him too cutesy sometimes. I liked most of his scenes, but some of it was a bit, a bit too much for me. Now, the film does go by quite quickly, and I think, I mean, it depends on your personal preference of how films are paced and how much you want. You want a slower paced film or a fast paced film. I think this, I don't know if, I mean, you didn't mention this, but do you think it went fast quite quick in a way, and whether that's a good or bad thing? Some people actually wish that it was a bit longer, actually. There was a wish. I think really? There should, I think they should, like we both mentioned in our kind of mixed or negatives, I've already mentioned it and you mentioned it in your bit, is that obviously we want more Clark Kent. Yeah. I feel like, and the Daily Planet, I think they should have expanded that a little bit. I know this isn't a origin story, and I'm kind of glad in a way that it's not. It's kind of like, gets you straight into the story.
It doesn't
and it's
feel repetitive. It doesn't feel repetitive then, does it?
No, it doesn't. Which some people would have liked that, because it is a brand new DCU, a DC universe. But it kind of worked in a way, because obviously they kind of, in the opening, I won't say what, but they give you kind of context of what's happening. So 5 centuries ago this happened, something, and then it goes down to like 3 minutes ago this happened, which is quite fun. Or funny, sorry. So they give you context of what's happening at the beginning of the film, so it's not like they give you all this shit's happening. They give you kind of context of what's happening, so that's a good thing. But some people might be like, oh, I wish it was kind of another origin, but because there's been so many origin ones, it's kind of good that they don't go back to that. But I can understand the people that don't like that because it's like, it's a brand new DCU. So, for example, this is their first viewing of Superman. They've never heard of the character, or if they've never watched the other iteration of Superman, they want to see what it is. I mean, some people might have a problem with that. I didn't really, to be honest. I liked that it was a fresh breath of air. It was like, because with Man of Steel and the other Superman films, it kind of builds up to the action, whereas with this, it brings you straight into what's going on with a bit of text. And then obviously the opening scene, obviously, as most of us know, is that obviously Superman is injured. Like, it's like Superman isn't this invincible person that we all know. He isn't invincible. He has weaknesses, obviously kryptonite being the main one. My negatives, not entirely sure. I mean, the film's not perfect by any means. I will say though, while I can't confirm right now or feel comfortable saying that it is the best Superman film, however, I am confident to say that it is my favourite Superman film. I'm not saying it's the best Superman film in terms of how it's made, but it's my favourite because it's the one that I was most invested with. Obviously, I'm going to give my ranking in a second of all the other Superman films, and maybe NerdTube as well, that he's watched. Yeah, this is the one Superman film that I was pretty much invested in from start to finish. Whereas with some of the other ones, I was a bit like, some of it's a bit slow, some of it kind of pulls back a bit, and it just feels like it should have finished sooner rather than later, whatever. But this one felt the most consistent to me. Some may argue with that, some may not, I don't know, but that's just me. It was most fun of all of them, I'd say. The most fun in terms of, I guess, the jokes, but also the humour. Negatives, I honestly can't really say too much. There isn't really any glaring ones that I can think of right now on the top of my head. Yeah, I mean, some people might have their negatives. So yeah, I might have to think on this. Some other, obviously when I finish recording, because right now I can't think of any glaring negatives. There might have been some nitpicky stuff that I noticed during the film, but nothing to me that really made me want to remember it and say it right now. But yeah, I enjoyed the vast majority of this film, and yeah, like I've basically said, it's my favourite Superman film, which kind of spoils the whole ranking, I think. But you know what, I've just said it, so whatever. Again, I can't say really if it's the best Superman film, but it is my favourite Superman film, if that does make sense. So yeah, I'm gonna give this, because I gave the other films their their ratings in a way. I think this kind of perfectly puts this into place, and then, you know, you'll see why in the ranking. But I'm going to give this a 9 out of 10. I think it was really good. Yeah, so I may as well just go ahead with my ranking now, and then I'll obviously switch over back to NerdTube and he can say his ranking. Do you have your ranking?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Okay, you have your ranking. Good.
I do need to rearrange a lot of stuff on Letterboxd, because when the first Christopher Reeve Superman, I think I have changed my opinions on.
Okay, so I think I have my ranking. If I need to check, I'll check on my phone. But yeah, my ranking, my least favourite, I mean, is it really a surprise? is Superman 4, The Quest for Peace. Now, I have to be honest with you. Does this kind of disqualify in this ranking because I haven't seen the whole thing? I mean, I've seen a bit of it.
Not really.
To be honest, no.
You've not seen as much as I have.
Yeah, because I honestly didn't want to waste all my time with it if I wasn't going to enjoy it. If I'm being honest, I didn't want to torture myself through it, but clearly NerdTube did. So yeah. So yeah, Superman 4 is my least favourite. Is it the 7th film? Is there 7 films that I've watched? So 4, 5, 6. Yes, so it's the 7th. So my number 7, or my least favourite, is Superman 4. Don't really have much to say. I mean, if you watched it, you know all the negatives. My 6th place, I think, is Superman 3. Yeah, Superman 3. I mean, it's not really any better, to be honest with you. I didn't like. I forget his name now. The main dude, the guy that was in prison, and he's got out and he's wanting a job. I've forgotten his name, but the dude that has pretty much more screen time apparently than Superman himself, which is stupid. But I didn't like him really whatsoever.
No.
Some of the effects just didn't hold up. The opening scene of the film was just weird. After they introduced that character, there's all this stuff going on in Metropolis, like all these fucking telephone boxes tumbling over each other. I'm like, what's going on here? I don't know what's going on. It's so weird. So yeah, that's my number 6, Superman 3, or Christopher Reeve Superman 3. My number 5, number 5, is going to be Superman Returns. I liked the film. Well, I will say from my number 6 to number 5 is a significant gap, I'd say. So yeah, Superman Returns is my number 5. I didn't think it was really a bad film. I thought Brandon Routh's Superman was actually fairly decent. Have you watched Superman Returns?
Yeah.
You have? Okay, well interested to see what your thoughts are on that. But yeah, number 5, Superman Returns. Don't really have much to say. I don't want to go into too much detail, but I think this is my least, because 3 and 4 down there in the dog shit pile, and then Superman Returns is kind of around above that. It's kind of the good stuff. So Superman Returns number 5, number 4 for me. My number, that'll be Man of Steel. My number 4 it will be, because I obviously haven't added the new one yet. Man of Steel has grown on me over time. I think Henry Cavill's good for what that interpretation is, I think. I mean, I prefer the first half to the second half. The second half is just pure destruction, and it kind of goes on for a bit too long, in my opinion. But parts of it I do like and have come around on, but some of it I still am a bit like, it's alright. So, yeah, Man of Steel, my number 4, or number 3, number 4. My number 3, I would say, this might be controversial, but whatever, is the original Superman, the 1978 Superman with Christopher Reeve. Again, not bad. Again, the Superman Returns upwards are good films, I think. It's just, to me, the original Superman film with Christopher Reeve, 1978, is more of a film that I respect more than I enjoy. That's how I usually put it. That's what I put in my review on Letterboxd at the bottom, saying that I respect the film more than I enjoy it. I respect its legacy and everything. I think Christopher Reeve is a great Superman and Clark Kent. And everything else I like to a point. I can't really think of many too negatives on that, because again, this is not a review on that film. But so the original Superman, my number 3. Number 2 is Superman 2. More specifically, the Richard Donner cut. I haven't watched the theatrical cut, because I was like, I'll look up the Richard Donner cut on Prime or whatever, and it was quite cheap to buy, so I bought it on there and watched it. So it was good. It's my favourite of the Christopher Reeve films. It's my second favourite of all the Superman films thus far. And yeah, not too much to comment on that really. And then obviously my number 1, I know it's recency bias, but I don't care, is James Gunn's Superman. I mean, pretty much everything that I said of the film. I really liked. This is my favourite Superman, David Cornsweet, and well, I say Clark Kent. I wish we saw more, but I can't really say too much if I say he's my favourite Clark Kent, because there wasn't that much they could show. But Superman, I think he's my favourite iteration. And then obviously I've already said everything else in my review, so that's why it's my number 1. It's my favourite. I'm not saying it's the best Superman film, but it's my favourite Superman film. So yeah, that's my ranking of all 7 Superman films that I've watched in preparation for this, including obviously the new Superman. So that's my ranking of all the films. So I said my rating is 9 out of 10, so it's a 4.5 star. I think that's about it really. So I'm going to pass it on to NerdTube. He's going to share his ranking of the ones that he's watched.
Now, my ranking for these films, to no one's surprise, the very last place is Quest for Peace. I felt no peace in watching that movie. I don't even have to explain why it's bad, because like I pretty much explained in a Letterboxd review about my feelings about this film. It made me feel dead inside. And for 6 is Superman 3. It rubs me the wrong way so much. And the main antagonist might as well just be Lex Luthor. Lex Luthor is supposed to own a company and rich. He's not necessarily a criminal mastermind, as the first 2 films claim. As much as that sounds fun, it is. Number 5 is the Superman Returns film. Now, personally, I know this is going to be a hot take, but I thought it was okay. I didn't love it overall. I just thought it was. I didn't think it was bad either. I just thought, yeah, this film's just okay. Although people back in the day when they first saw this film, they hated it.
Yeah.
They really did not like this film. Number 4, Man of Steel. I know you might like this film, Ollie, but this film, yeah, this didn't really feel like a Superman movie to me. It did feel like more of an action movie more than it does a Superman movie. And also, I think General Zod is the best part of this film.
Yeah.
Hot take, I prefer this General Zod over the other General Zod in Superman 2. Speaking of the devil, Superman 2 is going number 3. And then Superman by James Gunn is going 2nd place. And then the first Superman movie is on 1st place. Personally, I enjoy the first Christopher Reeve film. I really enjoy it, and I do respect how it was made. But yeah, that's my ranking.
Okay, to kind of wrap this review up, because we've talked about pretty much both of our thoughts on the actual film, but to talk about a bit more of a spoilery thing, because there's there's a mid-credit scene and a post-credit scene for the film. I mean, both of them are kind of, no, I wouldn't say unnecessary, but unnecessary to stay for if you need to leave for whatever reason, if you need to piss or shit, or need to leave for whatever reason, or, you know, whatever. I think the first one was I know the last one was with Superman and Mr. Terrific, where he was looking at this building or whatever.
Yeah, analysing a crack in the wall as if he was a bricklayer or something.
And then what was the first one again? I can't remember the first.
Basically, Superman on the moon with Krypto looking
yes.
towards Earth.
Oh yeah, so that was kind of a cutesy one and not so much, you know, yeah. So yeah, those two, and also, but the bit, again, spoilers, that I kind of did find out about that was going to be appearing was Millie Alcock as Supergirl. Like she's going to make a very brief appearance in it, and obviously she's not in either the mid or post-credit scene. She's quite near the very end of the film, when obviously Superman or Clark is back at the Fortress of Solitude after everything's all said and done, basically, and she arrives to collect Krypto, basically, and she said, "Thanks, bitch." Saying, "Thanks for looking after my dog, bitch." Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing her, which I think is the next film, Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. Actually, no, it's not just called that, it's now just called Supergirl now.
Yeah, there is actually an upcoming Supergirl movie, believe it or not. I don't know when it's coming out.
I think it is the next DCU film. I'm not sure about the show. I don't know if it's the next project in the whole universe, but I think it's the next film to come out. I don't know what year it comes out. I don't know if it's next year, because I think they've shot it already, I think.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they did.
So, yeah, I think that's all we want to talk about, really. I don't know if there's anything you want to quickly mention or bring up, or...
I am excited for what the DCU has to offer next.
Yeah. We'll have to have a look at the catalogue to see what's coming up next, but I'm pretty certain it is Supergirl next. The next film coming out in the DCU is Supergirl, but the next DCU project, including the shows, is Peacemaker Season 2, coming out in mid-late August. Alright, so yeah, that's about it, guys. I'm really happy that we managed to go watch this, finally. It's been so long for the wait. I'm really happy with the outcome for the most part. As for Nerdtube, maybe?
Yeah, I enjoyed watching this film with you.
Yeah, so yeah, we were initially going to have Rusty in the video as well, but unfortunately he couldn't make it for various reasons, which we won't talk about. But if you're watching, Rusty, we miss you, we love you. Not in that way, but you know what I mean. As you know, brothers, I guess, as the Dudes Talk Cinema gang. Better to have a review than not have one, because this was, again, one of our most anticipated films of the year. Do you say that?
I think so, yeah.
Because I can't really think of any other most anticipated film. I mean, other than a couple, but I don't think this is like the most, like, I can't wait for this, because it's been like this kind of moment. But yeah, so that's about it, I think. So I don't know what the next review might be, but Fantastic Four maybe. I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe.
Rusty might appear in that one. We will never know. But
expect another guest to come along.
Oh yes. Yeah, so there's another person who we did say we would try and meet for, so that person might appear as a guest in the video, but we'll see what happens. Things might change, but yeah. But with regarding Superman, hope you enjoyed our review. Give it a thumbs up if you did enjoy. Let us know in the comments below if you've seen it and what you thought of the film. Are you more positive, are you more mixed, are you more negative on the film? Let us know. And yeah, I think that's about it. So we'll see you in the next video, whatever the hell that will be, whether that's just with me, with Nerdy, with Rusty, with whoever else. But yeah, that's about it. See you in the next video.
Sayonara.
Cheers.